Hello friends, welcome to Eco Talks with Sneha Manerkar. Friends, thank you for such a great response for my series. Keep showing the support and don't forget to hit like button and subscribe to my channel. Now let's start the today's session. Today we will be covering some important concepts from theory of demand. Those who did not watch my previous video, please watch it so that today's concepts will be more clear for you. So let us begin with our first question. Which of the following determinants of demand are shift factors? A. Price of the commodity. B. Price of the other commodity. C. Both B and D. D. Income, taste and preference. The answer is both B and D. Let me explain you this. When movement along the demand curve happens, that will be because of the change in the prices of the commodity. But when there will be shift in the demand curve, this will be the because of factors other than the price, such as income or preference or taste of the consumer. So the factors which leads to change in or the shift in the demand curve, those are called the shift factors. Let us move to the next question. The responsiveness of demand to change in the commodity's own price is called A. Income elasticity of demand. B. Price elasticity of demand. C. Cross elasticity of demand. D. Elasticity of substitution. The answer is price elasticity of demand. Now, while taking down the notes, try to analyze each question so that from one question you can prepare 4 different questions in such way that in exam you can easily answer any type of question. Now let me explain you these 4 types of elasticity of demand. The first is price elasticity of demand. It is the responsiveness of demand to the change in commodity's own price, whereas income elasticity of demand is responsiveness of demand to its income of the consumer, and cross elasticity of demand is defined as proportionate change in quantity demanded of X resulting from proportionate change in the price of Y. The formulas for both income elasticity and cross elasticity is given here. Let's go to the next question. The point elasticity of linear demand curve is ratio of dash segment to the dash segment of particular point on the linear demand curve. A. Lower upper. B. Upper lower. C. Upper quantity. D. Lower quantity. The answer is lower upper. Let me explain you this. So if there is a linear demand curve D dash and the point F, so the elasticity of demand at point F is given by ratio of lower segment, that is F dash to upper segment, that is FD. So when there is a linear demand curve, by using this formula, we can see that at the midpoint of the linear demand curve, elasticity is equal to 1. And where the demand curve touches the y-axis, elasticity is equal to infinity, and where it touches x-axis, it is equal to 0. So if you remember these both graphs, you can easily remember 6 different concepts. They can easily answer 6 different types of questions, such as when elasticity is infinite, when elasticity is 0. So try to analyze each question and remember the concepts. Let us go to the next question. When price elasticity of demand is infinite, then the demand curve will be vertical and parallel to y-axis, horizontal and parallel to x-axis, convex to origin, D. Concave to origin. The answer is horizontal and parallel to x-axis. Now let me explain you the shape of the demand curve when elasticity is different. So when elasticity is equal to 0, it is perfectly inelastic and demand curve is vertical and parallel to y-axis. Whereas when elasticity is equal to 1, it is called as unitary elasticity, and it is the shape of the demand curve is this. And when elasticity is equal to infinite, it is horizontal and parallel to x-axis, and it is called as perfectly elastic. Our next question is, the elasticity of demand for necessities is A. elastic, B. perfectly elastic, C. inelastic, D. unitary elastic. Answer is inelastic. So depending upon the different determinants of elasticity of demand, the elasticity changes. Now, for example, if there are large number of substitutes for the commodity, they will be more elastic. And when the goods are luxury, they are price elastic, whereas while in case of necessities, they are price inelastic. In case of durable goods, more the durable the goods are, more the elastic. And when there are more number of uses for a commodity, greater will be its price elasticity. Let us go to the next question. When change in expenditure is increasing, the elasticity of demand will be equal to 1, greater than 1, less than 1, or equal to 0. Answer is greater than 1. When the expenditure change is increasing, our elasticity will be greater to 1. Likewise, when change in expenditure is constant, elasticity is equal to 1, and when it is decreasing, it is less than 1. Our next question is, income elasticity for normal good is greater than 1, less than 1, greater than 0, less than 0. Answer is greater than 0. Now, as discussed earlier, income elasticity is responsiveness of quantity demanded to change in income levels. Depending on income elasticity, goods are divided into two parts, that is normal goods and inferior goods. For normal goods, income elasticity will be greater than 0, and for inferior goods, it will be less than 0. Let's go to the next question. Dash curve is the graphical representation of relationship between income and quantity of demand. A. Lorentz curve, B. Engel curve, C. Edgeworth, and D. Phillips curve. Answer is Engel curve. So Engel curves give the representation of relationship between the income and quantity demanded. Here are the 4 graphs showing different relationship for the different goods. Let us go to the next question. Cross elasticity of demand for substitute is positive, negative, infinite, 0. The answer is positive. For substitutes, the cross elasticity will be positive, whereas in case of complement, it will be negative. Let us move to the next question. Income effect for normal good is negative, positive, 0, or infinite. The answer is positive. So let me explain you this. In last video, we have seen about the price effect, income effect, and substitution effect. Now, here the income effect for normal good will be positive and the substitution effect will be negative, and the total price effect will also be negative. So the next question is, if the changes in the price are very small, then the dash method will be used to measure the elasticity of demand. A. Arc elasticity, B. Point elasticity, C. Cross elasticity, D. Average elasticity. The answer is point elasticity. When there is small change in the price, we use point elasticity, and when the change in price is very large, we use arc elasticity to measure the elasticity of demand. Our next question is, the change in total revenue resulting from selling an additional unit of commodity is A. Additional revenue, B. Average revenue, C. Marginal revenue, D. New revenue. The answer is marginal revenue. It is the change in the total revenue resulting from selling an additional unit of a commodity. Our next question is, when the elasticity of demand is greater than 1, then the total revenue curve has dash slope. A. Positive, B. Negative, C. Greater than 1, D. Less than 1. Answer is positive. Let me explain you the relationship between price elasticity of demand marginal revenue and total revenue. The relationship is given by formula marginal revenue is equal to price into 1 minus 1 upon elasticity. So when elasticity is greater than 1, total revenue will have positive slope, and when it is less than 1, total revenue will have negative slope. Our next question is, in pure computation, demand curve for a firm is perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, elastic or inelastic. Answer is perfectly elastic. In pure computation, the demand curve will be parallel to x-axis. This is the graph showing the demand curve for firm in pure computation. We'll see the detailed part in market structure in upcoming videos. Our next question is, dash goods are those whose consumption decreases due to increase in the income. A, normal, B, luxury, C, inferior, D, substitute. The answer is inferior. Inferior goods are those whose consumption decreases as income increases. This is shown by the Engel's curve here. As income increases, quantity demanded decreases. Let us go to the next question. In case of substitute, increase in price of one commodity will lead to dash in quantity demanded of its substitute. A, decrease, B, increase, C, constant, D, none of the above. Answer is increase. This is explained by cross elasticity. For substitute, cross elasticity is positive. That means if the price of good A increases, quantity of good B also increases. And in case of complements, cross elasticity is negative. That means price of good A increases, leads to quantity of good B decreases. Our next question is, change in quantity demanded due to change in its own price is called increase in demand, expansion in demand, contraction of demand, both B and C. The answer is both B and C. It is expansion in demand and contraction of demand. Let me explain you this. If there is change in price, that is when fall in price results to extension in demand, and when rise in price it leads to contraction of demand. Whereas in increase and decrease in demand, there is shift in the demand curve. Let us go to the next question. When proportionate change in quantity demanded is greater than proportional change in price of commodity, the elasticity of demand will be A, inelastic, B, unitary elastic, C, elastic, D, perfectly elastic. The answer is elastic. Let me explain you this. The formula for elasticity of demand as discussed earlier is proportionate change in quantity demanded to proportionate change in price. So when numerator is greater than denominator, the value will be greater than 1. So here answer is elasticity is greater than 1. Let us move to the next question. The range of values of elasticity are, it lies between 0 to infinity, B, minus infinity to plus infinity, C, minus 1 to plus 1, D, 0 to plus 1. The answer is 0 to infinity. The next question is, the shape of indifference curve for perfect complements is A, convex, B, concave, C, L-shaped, D, straight line. The answer is L-shaped. So the shape of indifference curve in case of complements is L-shaped, whereas in substitutes it is a straight line, downward sloping straight line. I hope all the concepts covered today are clearly understood. If you have any doubt, you can ask me by commenting on this video or by on Telegram group. The name of my Telegram group is EcoTalks. Thank you friends for watching this video. Don't forget to hit like button and subscribe to my channel if you find this series interesting.